Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is FUBAR, and today we have an exciting video for you. Today I am going to be discussing the experiment I am conducting, which I have nicknamed Am I Crazy? I have mentioned this in the last video I did with scopes, and I titled it Am I Crazy within that video. That video was FUBAR's Lounge, episode 2 of the podcast, Our Ideal Setups, where we discussed our ideal setups. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's a very good video. Now we're going to first discuss the units I'm running and then what is being changed out in XYZ. But before we start doing that, I wanted to say that this experiment was originally intended for a 6.2 camp buff, and this was originally discussed about a month ago in Death Wish's live stream. Now, since then, there's been an adjustment. I'm going to a 5.3 because Scopes made a very good and valid point that if I run a 5.3, I lose 1% and it will save me a lot of time. And this is actually more achievable amongst the player base, and it gives the player more options to select between different units they may enjoy more on the battlefield. And I couldn't agree more. So this is where the experiment has been adjusted. So as you can see right now, I have an ATG, Liberty helicopter, Martyr MBT, Martyr howitzer, and a Liberty infantry. I have a Vanguard fighter, and just for a quick deploy, I have a Liberty bomber and a Liberty fighter plane. Now, what's going to be changed out here is going to be the Martyr howitzer, Martyr MBT, and the Liberty bomber. Now, we're going to be going for a Vanguard bomber in exchange, and I'm going to be actually developing a Liberty fighter. Now, the other two units that are going to be changed out, which is the Martyr howitzer and the Martyr MBT, will be going for their Liberty variants. So I'll have a Liberty MBT and a Liberty howitzer. Now, as you can see right here, I actually can easily build a Vanguard bomber. So that was one reason for that selection. And also, the Liberty bomber, I don't really feel like grinding out, and that makes things a lot more simple. Now, let's discuss the camp buff. If you want to look up your camp buff, you can actually do so by going under military, then going to damage, and it's going to be under camp skills. As you can see right now, my camp skill is 12%, but once this setup's complete, it'll be at 19%. This is important because anyone can do this. So this is a very big asset for free-to-play and light spenders. This does not mean whales cannot do it, but they can. Now, if you want to check all the levels of the camp buff, you can actually do so right here under camps under the assembly workshop. As you can see, level 5 is 18% for damage and damage resist. Now, I'm going to clarify something right now. This buff applies to all troops deployed in your base, and it applies to your base as well. Okay? So, with us, we're going to be going for the level 4 buff with Liberty, and then we're going to go for the level 2 buff with Vanguard. Okay. Now, if you also want to check to see if it's actually applying to your base, go under military, go under damage, then go under total, then select other, and then select base, and you'll see it right there as well under the camp skills. Now, you may be asking why all of a sudden am I doing this experiment? Because I had a 9.2 Liberty Heli. I also had almost a 9.2 Liberty MBT. And the reason why I started this experiment was because I noticed some mistakes within my base that only time could fix. And also, I wanted to make these adjustments and reassure myself for when I go eventually into Legendary 1. This is a build up to Legendary 1. So, first thing I noticed is my walls were way too low in level, and this will take time to adjust. So, how am I going to adjust that? Well, my goal for my walls is going to be level 150, then 200, then 300, and I'm doing them in groups of 10 at a time, and that is only going to take time. It's a matter of time. And that's fine because I got nothing but time when I'm adjusting to this setup, which is going to take roughly 6 to 9 months estimated just to swap. After they're swapped, then I have to also increase my units to 9.0. So that keep in mind this only I'm only doing this with ground units, not Air Force. Because Air Force is too much of a grind. So one Air Force unit will be raised to its max, and the ground units will be going to 9.0, which will qualify me for Goal 3. Then from there, I will be grinding them out to 9.1, and then I will go to Goal 2. Once they are 9.2 and fully maxed, I will go to Gold 1, try it out. If it's really good, then I will go all the way to Legendary 1 and then go from there. And that's when I'll start working on the Air Force because there's a lot more refined components as a reward there. This also gives me time to farm parts because I desperately need parts for now for the Vanguard bomber, the Liberty fighter, the Liberty howitzer, the Liberty MBT, and I do need better parts for my Liberty infantry. So this actually is going to be a help. I do have good parts for my MBT, but they're not Camp Pacific, and I want to try grinding out those Camp Pacific parts. This also allows me to finish up the research for both infantry and arty under advanced because I am working on that now, and my current progress is right here. I know I'm doing them split, but that's because that's what I could afford to do at the moment. Now, my goal, I'm a perfectionist, so I'm going to be finishing up both infantry and arty trees under advanced. Then I'm going to be finishing up basic city defense. Then I'll be starting advanced Air Force tech. So, just so you guys know, in a recap, real quick, that this is meant to help you, and this is about to evaluate the growth, how long it's going to actually take to set up, how long it's going to take to move brackets, and this is also going to be me fixing my account. So it's a win-win-win all the way across the board for everybody. If you guys actually think I'm crazy, please leave a comment down below. If you do not, like and subscribe to the video, okay? Keep in mind, we also have two amazing Discords, Warpath Lounge and also FUBAR's Lounge. If you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me in either one of those, and you can send me a DM in-game or in the Discords. I answer to everyone, and I hope everyone is having a great day. This is FUBAR. I got your 6. Peace.